Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I am doing another pregnancy update of my third month of pregnancy with my second child. It's my pregnancy, hopefully second child. Yeah, let's just jump right into it. So like I did it in my last update, I will talk about the 9th week of pregnancy, which basically means 8 weeks 1 day till 9 weeks pregnant, so leading up to the 9-week pregnancy mark, and I will do that with all the weeks until 13 weeks for today. So let's just start with the 9th week. During that week, all the symptoms from my past weeks of course continued and even got stronger. I noticed I was peeing a lot, I had trouble eating, I felt nauseous all day, I was really short when it comes to my breath, like everything felt exhausting, like I did some kind of workout. I continued to have really vivid dreams and disrupted sleep because I had to pee so much at night. And the round ligament pain was still going on, which meant the baby is growing, everything is stretching, which was a good sign because in my last 3 pregnancies, including the one with my daughter, I started bleeding during week 8 and I lost 2 of those babies. With my daughter, I thankfully continued to stay pregnant, and this time around there was no bleeding, so I was really excited to be in this week with no bleeding. Everything was going well, everything was stretching and growing, so I was really excited about that. I did notice with the excessive sweating that started this week because first off, it got hotter outside, and the second thing, hormones of course. My acne on my face and my back actually got a little worse, and I also noticed at night that my saliva was so much. I had so much saliva that in the morning I would wake up and my whole pillow was wet, which was kind of gross, but that's pregnancy, you know. Yes, I definitely had that this week. So let's show you my 9-week belly. During week 10, my 10th week of pregnancy, all the symptoms continued. I was even more nauseous. I was not able to eat much anymore. Basically everything that I had been eating sounded gross from that point on. I got really exhausted because of that, because I did not get much energy from food because I couldn't eat anything. So I got more and more exhausted. I slept more during the day. I could not sleep as well during the night. And I also got really dizzy every time I would stand up too quickly or bend over and get back up. I would get really dizzy or lightheaded. That was really strong during that week as well. And because of all that nausea and tiredness and laziness that came with it, I got really frustrated this week because I was not able to do the things that I usually would do, and I was not able to be the kind of mom I wanted to be to my daughter, who was still so young. And that kind of all frustrated me a lot. But then I tried to remember, I was like, oh, with my daughter, the morning sickness stopped at the 2nd trimester, so you only have a few more weeks to go, so you can do this and then it's all over, and it doesn't matter that you've been feeling sick because you will forget all of that. Well, little did I know that was not the case for me this time, but more about that later. So that was week 10, so here's my 10-week baby bump. And then let's talk about week 11. The symptoms just continued. Disrupted sleep, lots of peeing, lots of sweating, being exhausted, very exhausted, not being able to eat at all. That's also a reason why I lost weight during that time, because I was not eating enough. I was still breastfeeding my daughter full-time during the day. I was not breastfeeding her at night anymore. And that's exhausting. I could tell that she was basically sucking all the leftover energy that I had. She was basically sucking it out. So props to all the pregnant mamas who are breastfeeding through pregnancy. I am not sure how you do it. I got so exhausted because of that. And I was at that point where, like, was like, I have to make a decision. I don't know if I can continue breastfeeding my daughter because it's so exhausting for me, but I want to breastfeed her because she's not even a year old yet. So I was really struggling with all those thoughts coming in, and I was emotionally on top of that, and yeah, all these things going on through my head. And then yeah, it was a tough point for me emotionally as well in that week. But I continued to breastfeed. I was like, I will be strong for my daughter. I will continue to do it. And I know that I will be feeling better in a few weeks, which I did not, but I didn't know that yet. So yeah, I was just hopeful and just wanted to stick with it and go through with it. So here's my 11-week baby bump. During my 12th week, all the symptoms continued. I got so exhausted that everything would make me out of breath, as you can tell already. So everything just continued from there, and it got even worse with my morning sickness, because by the end of the 12th week, at 11 weeks and 6 days, I threw up for the very first time during that pregnancy. I was like, what? I'm almost in my 2nd trimester and now I'm throwing up? What the heck? And I was like, well, it's just the one time, I will be feeling better. But it was actually just the start of everything going downhill for me during this pregnancy. I had a really increased thirst because I was not able to eat, and now throwing up. At 12 weeks, I was extremely emotional. I was like, I have to get through this. I need to continue breastfeeding my daughter. I need to be able to do this and somehow get nutrition in. I really tried to focus on that to get the nutrition that I need, but it was hard to keep them in. So that was a whole struggle of itself, and it just made me so extremely emotional during that time. So I was struggling a lot during week 12. So here's my 12-week bump, which is not big because I was not eating. And to my 13th week of pregnancy, all this stuff continued. Vivid dream, disrupted sleep, lots of urination, not being able to eat, feeling really exhausted and nauseous. And during that week, my baby actually got sick. She had the 3-day fever, so a really high sudden fever that lasts for 3 days, and then it suddenly disappears again with no other symptoms, which is really common around that age. She was sleeping a lot during the day, but she also breastfed a lot during those 3 days, and that actually made me even worse. I was not able to eat at all, and every time she would breastfeed, and I wanted to give her that best medicine that I could give her, and I was just feeling drained. I was exhausted, and it was awful, and I threw up even more. We went to the doctors on the 3rd day because we had an appointment anyways, and on the way there, at the office, and on the way back, I threw up 3 times. And I was just done. I cried, I was throwing up, I couldn't eat, and I was just like, I have to do it for my daughter, but I can't. My body's not handling it really well anymore. I don't know what to do, but as long as she is sick, I will stick to it, and I will breastfeed her, and then I just have to see if I'm feeling better or not, because this can't go on like this anymore. I'm out of it. I am done. I can't, like, physically cannot do it anymore, but I wanted it emotionally so bad to continue, and I was struggling a lot during that week with that thought and that decision. And because of all the throwing up that I did during the day and at night, I noticed hanging over the toilet that my neck was really stiff and sore, and I had just lots of pain in my neck area, and I just didn't know how to lay at night, which led to another sleepless night. And that was just the beginning of everything going downhill, but more about that in my next updates coming up. So that was my 13 week. I will show you my 13-week belly, which is still really small because I was not even able to keep water in. So I will show you that right now. Yep, and that's it for my 3rd month of pregnancy, the end of my 1st trimester with my 2nd baby. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys soon in my next video. Bye guys.